Welcome to the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonidas, and the founder of the Write Your Own Story company. Girl, I can tell you right now, you are definitely enough. Here we value service, sisterhood, connection, laughter, and that super genuine, keep it real, tell you like it is honesty. My hope is at the end of each episode, you realize you can do whatever it is you dream about and that you are not alone with what you struggle with. I'm hoping that you are snapping and clapping and hell yes in your way through each one of these episodes. So if this tracks with you, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Write Your Own Story podcast. I am your host, Betsy Leonidas, and it's just me today. Today, we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics ever, and that is how to feel better, even if life isn't going according to plan. I don't know about you, but there have been so many times in my life where I have looked around and felt stuck or overwhelmed, or life just isn't going according to plan. Maybe it's something at work. Maybe it's something with the kids. Maybe it's something in a relationship. Maybe it's something with your health, or maybe it's a big life event. Maybe you're getting a divorce. Maybe you're having, a health issue, or a family member's having a health issue. Life has a funny way, doesn't it? But there are moments where you're like, why can't I just click into a different gear? Why can't I feel better? I feel that all the time. I feel that different parts during the day. I feel like this is something that women feel all the time. And sometimes it's like, okay, things aren't going well, and it's just, I'm in a rut. And sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh my God, life doesn't look the way I thought it would. And I want to talk about a method that I use in my life that really truly addresses everything. So this episode is for the woman who feels overwhelmed, stuck, or like life hasn't turned out the way she expected. My hope is that she'll realize she doesn't have to wait for everything to change before she actually starts feeling better. So here's what I want to ask you. How incredible would it be to start feeling better literally tomorrow? Because we all know that feeling. And I can promise I have a method that genuinely helps you get there. Okay, what if I told you that you didn't have to spend the time wasting away thinking, I'll be happier when I find the relationship, when I lose the weight, when I get the promotion, when the kids get a little older and easier to take care of, when I have more money, or maybe when life settles down. I spent so many years of my life waiting for the one thing that I thought, and the one thing changed regularly, but when it gets warm outside, there's a million excuses that we come up with that are all externally related that we kind of attach to, I'll feel better when X. Let me tell you, after rebuilding my own life and interviewing the most incredible women each week for the past 2.5 years. And, I've also done extensive studying with the Jay Shetty coaching program and have followed the Gabby Bernstein method. Trust me, I have been all in on figuring out how to write my own rules and how to feel better. And let me tell you that feeling better isn't a reward that you get after you receive something external. That is literally how we are conditioned. We are conditioned that once you get the promotion, you're going to feel better. It is worth it to just burn yourself to a crisp just to get that promotion so that you feel better. Or I'll feel better once this relationship starts to work itself out, or once I meet someone. You have no control over so many external circumstances, but what you do have control over is how you navigate those things. So I'm so excited to tell you that you literally don't have to wait for those external things. I actually don't recommend it because you will die of frustration. Not really die, but you will just sit there every single day so frustrated waiting for these external factors to happen when really your ability to feel better is a tomorrow away, a tonight away. I'm not even kidding. Okay, quick coffee break because it's summertime and we got all these kids home and life is just... It's an afternoon coffee season, guys? Okay. Let me make a couple points here. So again, my first point, I want you to stop waiting to feel better. I want you to, I know you feel so overwhelmed right now. You feel like nobody else is in your shoes and no one is experiencing what you're experiencing, and no one is feeling the way that you're feeling. Those are uniquely yours. I really do hold a lot of space for that, but you have to stop waiting to feel better. You just have to make the decision to feel better and to actively act towards that. I understand that seems impossible when you are in a rut or when you are so overwhelmed. Trust me, I get it. When you are struggling with depression, when you have horrible anxiety, when you've just suffered a major life event. I'm not saying I have a magic pill. Better is a massive scale. I absolutely have the ability to help you move up the scale. So when you start feeling better, when you start choosing to feel better, and we'll get into how to do that, you will start having more energy. You'll start having more creativity. You'll start having more confidence. The beautiful thing about this method is that it has this sort of exponential compounding effect. So trust me when I say you have to stop waiting to feel better and you have to make the choice right here, right now. I'm going to start feeling better tonight or tomorrow. It's as simple as that. And we'll teach you how. So happiness isn't something that you find. It's something that you practice. This is my point. I think one of the biggest lies that we're sold about is happiness is waiting for us somewhere in the future. Doesn't that suck that you can't just choose to be happy today, according to society? It's somewhere in the future. Sometimes that's society. Sometimes those are the ideas that we conjure in our head. But man, oh man, don't you think that's a common theme where it's like, okay, yeah, no, happiness exists in the future. I just have to keep chugging along towards this external goal. But I think one of the things that I have learned, okay, let me just give it to you straight. I say this to people all the time. I don't think anyone would actively, if they read the description of my life on paper, would be like, I want that one, right? I am divorced. It was a very traumatic divorce. I am a single mother of 4 kids. I carry financial responsibility. I carry an immense load, all the things, right? By the way, I'm also not special. Many people are in this boat, have their own circumstances. I'm just explaining my situation. So many people on paper would be like, oh no, I don't want, like, I'm not going to choose off the menu, the life that completely blows up and then you become a single parent and you do this on your own. But I legitimately am the happiest I've ever been and the most peaceful I've ever been in my entire life. My entire life, even when things were good, I've never been this happy and this peaceful. And it is the greatest gift. And when I tell people that, their jaw literally drops to the floor because they see my day to day. They see the grind. They see the driving all over town. They see, the conflict when it arises. They see me, taking care of the kids, etc. But when I tell them that I'm legitimately the happiest I've ever been, and the most peaceful I've ever been, their jaw drops to the floor. Now, I'm not trying to like sell you the moon and the stars here. I am a human. I am not happy all day, every day. I am not peaceful all day, every day, but I'm pretty damn good at it. And that has taken practice, but it is both of those feelings, which are the two that are safe, happy, and peaceful. Safe is the hardest one for me, but that's just a personal thing. Are the 3 things that I am so vigorously designing my life around. So I think the most important thing that I do, okay, so let me tell you about this method. Every single morning, I wake up and I ask myself, how do I want to feel today? And I give myself one word. Often it's been confident, often it's been happy, etc. Then I look at my calendar and I literally am saying, as I go through what's on my calendar today, how can I be happy today? That doesn't mean that life doesn't still life. It absolutely lifes. But I have the ability and the choice to roll with it, to choose happy as even I'm navigating hard things. It's unbelievable by just making that intent, looking at your calendar, planning that out. That is the key to my happiness every single day. Plain and simple. Maybe I have a super overwhelming day and I choose to feel confident that day, confident that I can handle each task, and that I want to move through each of those days slowly and with intent. Because even though there's 99 things and it's all back to back, can I put some breath in there even as I walk into the next meeting or drive to the next thing? Can I put some breath in there to feel more peaceful? It is what I like to call, and actually I believe I learned this from Gabby Bernstein, the daily design method. And it's literally just been profound. So what I've done is I've also taken the daily design method and all that I've learned in the Jay Shetty coaching and all of my conversations with these incredible women. And I have come up with a feel better sprint. I printed it out and put it in a binder because I'm a huge nerd. And what I love about this is that this is like an actual thing that you can download. I'm offering it to everybody free. It is included in this Now What program that I am building for what do you do when you want to write the next chapter in your life. You all of a sudden you vastly realize, oh my God, my life does not look how I wanted it to look. I want to turn the page and write the next chapter. Within that is a ton of bonus content, one of which is this 30-day Feel Better sprint. But I really, truly believe in tomorrow you can feel better. And truly, if you practice this for 7 days, you've got the key to take it with you. The principles of it are the daily design. So we'll get into that, and measuring the before and after so that you can give yourself credit for the work that you've done. So before you start, there's kind of, you want to take a time to fill out this starting point. And I actually use this program, like I designed the program, use the program. I will share with you where I was when I started this. So I wrote, I'm coming out of a really hard season of struggle. The kids, it's been a lot. It's the end of school. I had my son's birthday, which is, as you know, it requires planning, buying the gifts, wrapping the gifts, end of school, crazy. We had a wonderful wedding to go to. I had 4 kids to get suits. Well, 3 kids to get suits for, a girl dress and my dress and orchestrate all of that. I had Mohs surgery on my forehead. It went great, but that's a lot to carry, that you have cancer cells on your forehead that have to be removed. My daughter had oral surgery. She is my extra special baby. She almost didn't survive when she was born. If you want to hear more about that, check out the episode Story of Miracles. She was gravely ill for a month and a high-risk patient for 2 years. And so she had this oral surgery, fluke, something happened and it got infected. And I just kept hearing, we're not out of the woods yet. And it's oral surgery. So it's by her nasal cavity, which is connected to her brain, which is where her issue was when she was born. So when they say we're not out of the woods yet, and we're talking about my daughter, who I can't tell you how many times I've heard we're not out of the woods yet with her, the trauma, the PTSD that came back from that, I can't even begin to describe. And I was really struggling. I had just ended a relationship. That is always painful, even when it's the right thing to do. And my ex-husband and I, we get along very well. We prioritize our children, but we're also 2 people who are divorced, who are trying to co-parent together. We were not, like every other co-parenting relationship. We hit bumps, and it was a bumpy season. We were not getting along, despite how often we prioritize that. We were fighting over the kids. We were fighting over money. It was really, it was like I was down. I was down in the dumps. I felt like nothing was easy. Everything just felt like more load was piled on and on. In this program, I have like a chart that we measure. Do you feel calm, light, connected, capable, hopeful, like myself? And then I also leave a line for another word that's really important to you. And I decided to choose valuable. And then you measured on a scale of 1 to 10. You guys, all of my scores, it breaks my heart to even read this. All of my scores were 2s and 3s and maybe a couple 4s. Like I really was feeling awful. And so now, and then there's more to it. So then you kind of get into which feeling, if it grew the most, would change your whole month. And in one sentence, would you feel better? What would feeling better actually look like? So that gives you the chance to connect to what a future version of you could actually look like. Then we go through each day with one small reflecting journal prompt. And then the most important part is you author the day. We get into how do you want to feel and what is the actual number value on a scale of 1 to 10 for how you feel right now. So let's say valuable was my word. When I started this, it's like, okay, my feeling word is valuable. Right now, I feel on 1 to 10 how valuable. And then you talk about how you can bring it into the day's activities. And then in the evening, I always put this thing on my bed, so I never forget to fill it out at the evening. You remember your word, and then you rate how you feel about it at the end of the day. And then when you look back, you say, how did you bring that back into your day? And then you talk about, and then you write down what are 3 really great things. I have been doing this for 2 weeks. My scores now are 9s and 10s. I'm not kidding. I feel so much better. Half the time I fall asleep at night with my clothes on and haven't washed my face and forget to fill out the bottom part. But I'll take the time as I'm falling asleep to be like, what worked today? I know I had an intent for today. What worked today? And I'm telling you, it literally, my scores have gone from 2s to 3s to 9s to 10s just by going through this process every morning. It takes me about 15 minutes. I do it with a cup of coffee, and it makes me, there's more to the authoring of today and the daily design. And if you want to see that, you can definitely download. This is free. I'm going to give it to you for 7 days. Truly, I know this sounds salesy, but I mean it. If I could make, with this show, with this work that I do, with the products that I offer, whatever it is, if I could make one person feel seen, more empowered, and more confident to live the life that they want to live or to feel the way they want to feel, my job is done for the day. That's all I want to do is help. And I'm telling you, when I'm telling you I had to rebuild my life, like many women do, and like many men do, I'm sure, sticking to this method and measuring my progress and having just like the key foundation building blocks has been absolutely transformational. So that is really, truly, again, how I make people's jaw drop to the floor all the time when I'm like, no, I'm the happiest I've ever been. They're like, what? Really? I think also society thinks that people are only really going to be happy when they have a partner in their life. I mean, would I love to meet someone that really stuck? For sure. But oh my gosh, I'm so happy without it too. I feel like that's my responsibility, is to make sure that my life is great and happy. And then if someone comes and fits in and adds value and, loves me the right way, then awesome. But for now, it doesn't matter. A couple of other things I want to note. I know, again, it's like, okay, where do we read this? At Hallmark, off Instagram? Probably. But tiny moments create happiness. So again, it's not like you're like, okay, tomorrow I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be super happy. It's like, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to move the needle an inch. And this is my plan for how I'm going to inch it along. Not because I got more things done on my to-do list, not because I'm going to look good in front of someone, because I committed to a feeling that I wanted to feel and I locked in and I made sure that I felt that way as much as I could throughout the day. There's no greater gift than showing up for yourself. But the way that you feel valuable, or that you feel confident, or that you choose to feel joy or peace isn't just like this is my word for the day. It's in the tiny moments. So you have these moments where you're like, I'm recording a podcast and I wanted to feel confident today. So right before I started, I took a deep breath and reminded myself that I wanted to feel confident and to know that I have so much expertise in this area, both from my training, from my life, and from my research, that there's no reason why I should feel anything but confident. And to be honest, I do. And that is fueling my happiness. So again, it's about creating those moments in the tiny spaces. And to that point, it really is not about trying to fix your entire life, right? Truly, each day is a new page. Each hour is a new opportunity. So it really is just a matter of, how can I create this feeling and bring it into the tiny moments? If you're like, it's like the age old example, how old am I that I say things like age old? Where it's like, okay, I want to lose weight. I hate that example because I hate it for how it resonates for women so much, but it's like, I want to lose weight. And you do this massive grocery order where all of a sudden everything that comes from the grocery is green. And you're like, look how healthy I am. I'm going to cook every night and I'm going to meal prep and I'm going to do all the things, for sure. But those are such a change in habits. You're putting new food in your fridge. You're changing your cooking habits. You're changing your Sunday habits with meal prep. You're changing everything all at once. Does it ever stick? No, you have to build these small moments and tiny habits. And the same goes with committing to how you want to feel every day. The other thing that I think really makes this method incredibly powerful is that it measures progress. So often women don't give ourselves the opportunity to feel the credit that we deserve. So we will do all the things, we'll make all the changes, we'll be intentional, but we don't ever stop and pause and give ourselves credit. Also, like if you're a corporate girly, like I used to be, like all good things are measurable. All important things are measurable. So if feeling a certain way is important to you, measure it at the beginning and measure it at the end. And then notice that by sticking with this method for even just 7 days, the change in your number and the proof that it really works. Nothing is more motivating than actual evidence. So collecting evidence along the way is critically important. I think that's important to how we do anything is to, like, again, back to the weight thing, which I'm like so mad at myself for even going with that through line. But like you would get on the scale and be like, oh my God, it's working. How about we go to the gym and you see your muscles and you're like, oh my God, it's working. I see my muscles building and getting stronger. So that is really, truly the crux of it. I think, again, I want to offer this to women because I think so many women feel stuck, overwhelmed, whether life is just feeling like a dumpster fire at the moment, or you're just feeling off, there is an ability to feel better. I have a free download for you. Absolutely. Go check it out. We will link it in the show notes. It's called the Feel Better Sprint, and it is so easy. It takes 5 to 15 minutes, however long you want to work on it, every morning with a cup of coffee. If you miss a morning, so be it. If you miss a night, so be it. We got to let go of perfection. We got to commit to a feeling. We have to measure our progress. We have to be intentional and build it into the tiny moments for the day so that we can stack those tiny moments to build the muscle of feeling the way you want to feel. And I'm telling you, at the end of 7 days, you're going to feel better. And I want more than anything for women to feel better. And this method is something, as I said, has made me the happiest and most peaceful version of myself, even when life lights itself on fire. I'm able to handle it with so much more grace and so much more confidence because I'm so committed to showing up each day intentionally for how I want to feel. So that's my soapbox for that. But I think happiness is something that feels so far out of women's grasp sometimes, or it's so attached to external things. Like I'll be happy when I get to go on that vacation, or I'll be happy when my kid wins that swim meet, or I'll be happy when I finally get in that relationship or get that promotion. All of these feelings that you want, they can literally start today. So that's my soapbox. If you're interested in trying out this method, check out the link in the show notes. If not, at least just take away one thing from this, is that your ability to feel better is absolutely in your grasp. It's so much closer. I know you feel so far away. Going back to what I read when I started this method and when everything was tough, like feeling better felt so far away. So if you were in that spot, I see you, I hear you, I so empathize with you, but I promise you, when you open your eyes tomorrow, you can feel better. I promise. And that is all I want for you. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Check out the link in the show notes if you're interested. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Well, that's the end of this episode, but promise me, you won't stop here with whatever it is you're feeling or dreaming about. I hope you leave today feeling empowered to live life just as you see fit. If this podcast was helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I genuinely just want to help women live the life they dream about. So if this type of content tracks with you, subscribe to this podcast or visit our website, writeyourownsstory.co, to download digital courses or to grab a journal and a mug to just dream in and dream with. It's your life, lady. Do you. And just remember, I'm rooting for you, and you've totally got this.